Yasmine, so good to be here on a weekly call. And here's the thing that's hitting Utah. We are being told that there's a lot of activity happening in East Bay, in San Francisco area concerning people buying homes using stock options. What is going on?
Yes, good morning, Todd. Hello from sunny East Bay. But yes, it is a hot topic. People want to buy houses with stock options, which mainly applies to the big ones, OpenAI and so on, not necessarily the little ones. And the reason why the big ones is because, of course, people are thinking, oh, if I sell it, if a seller will most likely accept it because they are hoping that the stock price will go up, right? So they feel that it's very little risk, and they do have to come to an agreement, of course, at what price it would be sold. But there is so much more around that: attorneys and contracts, and how is it going to happen? So it is an idea and it's floating around, and some people want to do it. Maybe a handful of people have already done it, but it is a huge legal situation that has to be overcome with brokerages and sellers and buyers. And of course, attorneys have to come to become part of it.
Oh, of course, those attorneys, they got to get their fingers in that pie for sure. And when it comes down to it, though, I hadn't thought about all that. If you want to know the truth, is it came up at my brokerage at our sales meeting. It came up the discussion, and they're expecting this. It sounded like it was more prevalent than I guess it really is, and they're expecting this to come to infiltrate Utah because we have the Silicon Slopes, we've got a technology sector and so forth, and there's a lot of AI, there's data centers, everything else being built here. And so, with all of that happening here, and the education base here in Utah is extremely high, which pulls in that technological sector where they want to come and take advantage of the education base. And quite frankly, because of it being so prevalent, it's cheap, meaning you can get highly educated work for low dollars, relatively speaking, where in other parts of the country, to have that education base, they pay so much. But that's a whole different subject we can talk about some other time. But when it comes to this, I just didn't
It
realize,
is.
yeah, I didn't realize the complexity of doing the
It is very
transaction.
high end, and don't think that it's something that people do in the 2 million. It is typically the very high end luxury homes that where both buyers and sellers are very educated about how it could possibly work. And so it's not that the standard buyer will really do this. It's typically 5 million, 10 million, stuff like that. It's very luxury right now.
Well, our previous, I think it was just last week, it might have been the week before, but we had a discussion about you saying that properties are going for like $1 million over list. I was blown away. I'm going, what? Properties are moving for $1 million over
Oh,
list.
get this
Is
one. There's a new one. Wait, there's
yeah.
a new one. We had our office meeting. We had an agent from San Francisco join us, and she came to the office. And there was actually a house in San Francisco that was listed at 7.5 million, and it is selling at 15 million.
What? Now, is this being driven? Is this up, up, up? Is that being driven by this stock option thing, or are they really not affecting it, or what? Help me out here.
No,
What is
the
driving
stock
that?
options are really. I think I told you last week that AI is in the last 90 days, a lot of regular people became multi-millionaires. They went from their regular salary to having $20 million available. And so the first thing people typically do is buy a house. And
Wow.
those who already have the wealth with their stock options, for them, it's play money. So they can say, oh, why not? So, but it is heavily driven by AI. And I think I mentioned that to you. It's more
You
dramatic
did.
than one might think.
Wow. But that's from 7 million to 15 million, 7.5 million. So double the price.
Yeah, and
Unbelievable.
think about it in millions, right? When you think about it, I mean, if it goes from 200 to 400,000, it's still very dramatic, fine. But millions, I was
Here's
like blown away.
here's the thing this is reminding me of, and maybe I'm way out of line as far as what I'm going to say next because I'm old, relatively speaking. I've been in the market a long time, and this is remind me of the what 70s, late 70s, early 80s with the technological boom and bust. And this looks like it's almost like a replay of that. If it goes bust, meaning there was all this technology that was driving it up, 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 and then it all the bottom fell out of it. And it seems like this AI. I mean, it is really. It seems like there's a lot of hype behind. Don't get me wrong, AI is incredible. I mean, it's crazy what it's doing and the impact it's having on sectors. But to really pick the winners and the losers right now in that AI sector is way, in my mind, is way preliminary.
Um, well, that's why I don't know. For me, it's more a reminder of the high tech thing in the 2006, 2007,
Right,
where everybody became a millionaire, including my husband and I. All of a sudden you had all this money. But is what it reminds me of. But also, a lot of other things came into play with mortgages and so on. But this is does not really affect a regular buyer. This is just something exciting for some people, but
right.
it's not going to go mainstream. Oh, we are buying a house with stock options, because most people who have stock options are trying to hold on, right? And they want to make their money grow. But there are people who have so many stock options that to them it doesn't really matter at this point. And if they can sell it at a good price, they don't really care.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not mainstream.
And like you said at the beginning of this, it's almost like play money to them. It's just it's monopoly money practically to them.
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, to a seller, it will have value because they're hoping for growth.
Right,
And to the buyer, they don't have to bring cash.
right, right,
They just say, okay, and then there's the other thing of some companies won't allow it. Some companies say, no, Susie Q, you cannot transfer your stock options to Henry because it needs to, right? It needs to change hands. It's not just like it's a very official situation. So the company has to agree to it as well.
right. The company that's issuing the stock, so the OpenAI company needs to prove it.
Anthropic, yes, they would have to. Yes.
Right, right. Okay, way
But
interesting.
it's happening, and I think people it's very interesting. I agree. It's just after the meeting yesterday, I became a little bit more, it's a buzz thing, but for me it's gotten more realistic in a sense of hold on, hold your horses. It's kind of like stop the craziness with I'm buying a house with stock options. It's much more involved than one might think.
Yeah, and when my broker brought it up, I went, I know, because he brought up, the your area, San Francisco, and I went, well, I'm going to be on a call this week with Yasmine. I'm going to get the scoop and find out what's going in that area, in that sector of the world, find out what's happening that's drawing so much attention. So
Yeah, and
excellent information.
we can
Yeah,
revisit it again when it becomes, when as it progresses.
right, right, exactly. It is going to be an interesting topic in the future. Periodically, we'll have to touch base on this one. So anyway, way exciting. The real estate world's always interesting. Last thing is that, and we're kind of mixing it up with the value that you brought up. Did you know San Francisco has the highest priced, on average, the highest priced homes in the world?
And yes, I do. I do. I saw it.
Oh my
And
heavens!
that just happened, right? We had the bottom fallout during COVID, and it's been slowly coming back, taking care of homelessness and, redeveloping downtown. And it's becoming, I mean, flagship stores are coming back. And there's that second wind, let's call it the second wind, or that new wave of people who want to buy because they all have to go back to the office. They see San Francisco turning around. So it is absolutely true. Rents are out of line too, and purchases are crazy, like we discussed earlier.
Yeah, 1.76 million. I'm going from memory, but I think it was 1.76 million is the not, it wasn't average, it was the what median. The median price in San Francisco is 1.76 million.
Mhm.
Crazy.
It is absolutely crazy. I mean, but then you have to think single family residences, right? And if you go to the areas, even out in, I mean, my daughter lives in the Richmond, and long time ago, it's like before the sunset, it's by Golden Gate Park, and those places were not really, it wasn't the most desirable area. And I go there now to visit my daughter. Every other Victorian house has been refaced, redone. They're selling for 3 million. The inside's been redone. There's a very, very high Asian population out there in Richmond. So they're going, it's kind of changing. Families are moving in. Well, they have been moving in over the last 5, 6 years, but it's getting more and more. So those areas that have not had the values have now, tripled, quadrupled in value over the last few years. And it's amazing. And it's what is also amazing is that the feeling, you feel it, you feel that it's different than it used to be. The farmers market and the amazing restaurants on Clement Street, it's just, yeah. And the combination of cultures is also something very, very interesting and fun out there. There's a large Russian community as well. And I just love being out there because of the diversity, but the diversity in a very engaged way.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
separation, no
Diversity.
separation.
Diversity. So many people talk about diversity, 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 and they think it's the greatest thing in the world. Diversity is only great. It's a horrible thing unless it's engaged, united, and so forth. Just to have diversity means you don't understand each other. There's not a common language. There's not a common communication. There's not a common goal. There's not a common vision. But if you have
Right,
diversity and you're intentionally coming together and uniting and literally creating a culture of unity around that diversity, there's nothing better. Absolutely. Welcome to the USA. When it really comes down
well,
to it, that's one of the reasons why we grew, meaning we became so powerful in the world, is because of that coming together that created the world we live in today. But the other thing is here, comparing Utah to where you're at. So
yeah.
1.76 million, we just broke a record in median value as well, 540,000, and it's the highest it's ever been.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, we're really killing it there. 540,000. Don't get me wrong, that's a lot for us, but 1.76 million, holy smokes. Anyway,
Yeah, and I feel bad for, people like my daughter. I mean, unless you have, the wealth of your parents or you work in tech yourself. And I saw actually on Instagram there was a, a young person was speaking, and she was asked, how do you feel about the changes in San Francisco? And she addressed all three. She said, I have friends who went from, working in a tech company and getting a regular salary. They now have $30 million. Their heads are not even, they don't even know how to comprehend that whole thing. And so there's a huge separation financially. And then there are the people who have already been wealthy. And then there's the normal person. And the normal person is kind of forgotten right now. I mean, how is my daughter ever going to be able to afford anything in San Francisco? And thank goodness they live in a lease place where their price is protected. But I can't imagine having to be in San Francisco right now with everything going crazy.
And that's another topic that you just brought up that I know nothing about. What do you mean by their, and maybe we can talk about it, maybe we can't. Maybe we need to do this on another session. But their price is protected. What are you talking about?
Rent control.
Oh my gosh, spare me. It's like oh. Anyway, we'll have to talk
San
about that some
Francisco
other
has
time.
rent control.
Yeah,
Yeah, San
yeah, yeah.
Francisco has rent control, and
Oh my
it's
gosh.
really, I mean, that kind of protects the people, not the landlords, but the people. And I think it's been that way. And Oakland has it too. Oakland and Berkeley have rent control too, just because they, it all has to do with affordability, keeping everybody in the city. And I think where you live, it's maybe not as dramatic.
Oh, we don't have rent controls, but here's my question about rent control that I truly don't understand. I mean this sincerely, is a sincere question. When they, and because it all seems great and good that they have rent control to be able to control where the rents are at. So the investor, the landlord, when they own this property, how do they control the taxes, the all of the implications for them in terms of being able to even make a profit at all in order to hang on to this property? Like the mortgage, the size of the mortgage, because the rents can, or excuse me, the taxes can go up and down, all that kind of stuff. So do they control that too? Do they put a stop on that and put a hold on that as well?
No, it's not like so. We don't have rent control here in my area. So what happened is a tenant is in a place, they're paying $2,000, and then they get a 60-day notice being told, okay, your rent will now be $4,000 as of May 1st, right?
Right.
In the city, there is a set limit, I believe 3%, 3 to 5%, to stay on top of things for the landlord, but it has to be reasonable. $150 or $200 a year in increase goes typically with what they will get in a raise
So it's almost like an
from their job.
inflation adjustment, kind of like an
Yes,
inflation adjustment.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. I can see that. Not
but
not
it
that I
is
think it's
heavily
great.
protected.
Yep. Anyway. So your daughter, because doesn't your daughter work in tech?
No, well, one of them, she's in New York.
Oh, okay.
She's
Okay.
in New York, and she is, not affected by that. They are fine, and if anything ever happened with them, um, they would be those people who have stock options.
Right. Right.
It's Natasha and Ryan. Ryan works for his dad. They have the painting company. They've been doing painting Victorian buildings for the last 30 years, and it's a very, very lucrative job. Those Victorian buildings or houses, they sometimes people spend $150,000 on getting those buildings redone. So he works with his dad, and everything's great. And Natasha still works she's a rep for cosmetic company or hair care company, and she does trainings and all of that. So she drives around all over the place, but it's different. Every penny counts. And that's why I think I told you previously, that's why they are not moving from the city, because their daycare is covered. They're saving $8,000 a month just on daycare.
And that's paid for. Wow. Wow. I can see that. I can see why
It's
they would.
income based, of course, but
Right. Right.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Anyways,
always
yes,
great information. Holy smokes, we hit three
we're
topics all in
shifting.
once. Came in with one, and as you and I always do, we just go all over the place, talk about these things, and I really appreciate your time here. I love meeting with you every week, and come again, everybody. Come and
Thanks.
get some more information regarding Utah compared to California and what's happening there in East Bay. Love it, Yasmine. You have an incredible week.
You too. Thanks so much. Bye.